Manami Bhagavatpatam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Vatarayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vante Bhagavantau Punah Punah Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmatacharya Paryantam Vante Guru Paramparam Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Veda Vibhagini Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha Kukaro Anthakaro Vairukarastan Anthakara Nirodhitvat Gururitya Vidhiyate Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Om Bhadram Karne Vishriyama Devaha Bhadram Pashyemakshiviryachatraha Sthirairangai Sushtuvam Sastanupihi Veshema Hitam Yatayuhu Sustina Indro Vrittashravaha Sustina Pusha Vishwavedaha Sustina Starchu Arishtanemihi Sustino Brahaspatir Dathatu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We are seeing the Māṇḍūkya kārikā after going through the Māṇḍūkya Upaniṣad verses. And we are now in the kārikā. Already we finished the 26. Now we have to see the 27th kārikā. Still I will read the 26 and I will give a brief explanation and I will go to the new verse 27. Pranavo hi aparam brahma pranavascha parasmritaha apurvo anantaro abbhahyaha anaparaha pranavo vyayaha. Once more I will read. Pranavo hi aparam brahma pranavascha parasmritaha apurvo nantaro bhahyaha anaparaha pranavo vyayaha. Indeed, this Omkara, which is the central topic of Māṇḍūkya Upaniṣad, the Omkara, which is a syllable form of 3 letters, made of 3 letters, Akaram, the A, the U, Ukaram, the M, Makaram. All 3 together we will utter Om. This Om is a designation for the only existing entity in the world. That existing entity is being pointed out by the word Om. Om indeed is Aparam Brahma. Any form or any creator can be called by Om. Saguna Brahman in Sanskrit and another word, Saguna, having certain features like a form, name, etc., is called Saguna Brahma. Pranavascha parasmritaha. Pranavaha. Pranavascha parasmritaha. Param, Nirguna Brahma, the formless entity which is the real intrinsic nature of oneself. If you want to get more information, 1 or 3 times you should listen our previous class, okay? I have explained completely in that class. So this Omkara will be considered for the spiritual seekers as the Saguna Brahman, an entity or a creator having a form. The same Omkara is considered by the people who accomplish the reality as the Brahman, which is the intrinsic nature of oneself, Paraha, the ultimate goal of a human being. Apurvo Anantaro Abhahyaha. Apurvaha, beginningless, there is no cause for Brahman. Anantaraha, it's not an effect which came out of a cause. There is no beginning, there is no end. There is no other entity other than this Brahman in this world. Abhahyaha, it is not only external, it is also everywhere, all pervading. Abhahyaha. Anaparaha, it is not a secondary thing which is considered as certain religions that, there is another entity which is more strengthened than this. Like that, we should not get confused when we listen all religious folks in our daily life. These stories may confuse us. Even in our religion, there are different deities. They are all just Saguna Brahman, that Aparam Brahma. For the spiritual seekers, which are familiar with a form in the mind, they need somebody to meditate. But one who reached, one who accomplished the reality, they don't need that. They just meditate upon the formless consciousness, which is the base of this body. Apara Brahmaha, Apahyaha, Anaparaha. There is no other ultimate thing about this Brahman. And Pranavaha, Avyayaha. This entity is free from all kinds of distractions. There are only 4 kinds of distractions. With the weapon, a person get some tragedies, get distracted, eliminated. With water like a flood or thirst, a person get eliminated from the world. From the air, if it is more, we will be taken away by the torpedo, like strong wind. If it is less, we will be choked in our lungs and we will be out of air, we will be succumbed to death. And also fire. The more if it comes near to us, we will get burned and die. If it is not at all there, our food will not get digested. So there are 4 ways for the elimination of a person. It is told in Bhagavad Gita properly, in another Vedic text. So, Achetyoyam Adahyoyam Akledyoyam Ashoshoyam Ayaha. Asheshoyam. It is not get distracted by the water because it is formless. It is not distracted by the fire which can burn or take away somebody. It will not get distracted. It will not get any wound or any hurt from a weapon because it is formless. An air cannot also, the vital force can also, will not also affect this. And also, from the ultimate standpoint, all the elements are nothing but it is an transformation without changing its innate nature of Brahman. Any element is the transformed form of the Brahman without changing its innate nature. So one cannot hurt oneself. That is why Avyayaha Navedi will not get distracted oneself. This entity will not change its nature or will not get eliminated, will not get distracted. That is what been told. Okay. Then we will come to the 27th verse. Sarvasya pranavo hyati madhyamantastadaiva cha evam hi pranavam nyatva vestude tadanantaram. Sarvasya pranavo hyati madhyam Sarvasya pranavo hyadihi madhyamantastadaiva ja evam hi pranavam nyatva vishnude tadanantaram. Sarvasya pranavo hyadi madhya antastadaiva ja. Sarvasya, one single word for the entire creation or entire beings in the world. Sarvasya, of the all living beings, the starting point, the sustaining way, and also the merging point is nothing but Brahman. Sarvasya, for all the beings in the world, it can be a wood, it can be a living being, it can be a star, it can be anything, any one of the elements. Everything came into being from this Brahman. This is the originating point of all living beings. Adihi means beginning of every living beings, by which everything is sustained. That is also Brahman. That is called Madhyam, in the middle, the sustenance. The starting point at the beginning, the sustenance, and also Madhyam Antaha. The end of all living beings, in unto which everything gets resolved, is also Brahman. Tadaivacha. Everything get into merged from the Brahman, into the Brahman. Everything starts from Brahman. So I would like to say an example, the bubbles or the waves in the ocean, they start from the ocean, they get sustained by the ocean, and when it reaches the shore, that same wave will resolve into ocean. The content will be same in and through, while continuing to survive, and after getting resolved, the content will be same. This is been told here. Adi Madhyam Antaha cha. All the three effects are only for the name and forms on the creation, from which everything originates, by which everything gets survived or sustained, unto which everything gets resolved. This is being told by the word Adi Madhya Mantascha. Srishti Sthiti Pralayam. According to the belief of Hindu religion, the scriptures unfold. After a period of time, all the creations will get resolved. And for a length of time, it will be just like the deep sleep. Nothing will comes out. Everything will be resolved into the bija form in a manner of seed. Then after that, everything will be coming out after a period of time. This is what we call Srishti, Sthiti, Pralayam or Samharam in Sanskrit. A creation will continue for a particular time. A creation get merged for a particular time. And after the particular time, the creation will originate. But all these dramas happens as everything happens in a mini cinema screen. That is called Adi Madhya Antascha. Adi, in the beginning. Creation. Remember, whenever I say creation means an intelligent, conscious being can only become a creator, an all-knowing entity, Sarvajna. Whenever I say creation or creator, an all-knowing entity. All-knowing includes the listener and the person who speaks. Everything. And it will know, this all-knowing entity know how much time a person should survive in the world, when a result of an action should be rewarded for a person, when a pain should be taken from a person, when a pain should be delivered for a person who have done some pava, wrong action, everything will be controlled by the all-knowing entity. If I want to say more, this entity is not involved in our actions. The action itself brings the result in course of time. But he will be the witness of all these things, the creator, the all-knowing entity. Sarvasya Pranavaha, this Omkara, the all-knowing entity, the consciousness, the Brahman will be the base, the witness of all living beings when it gets originated, when it gets survived, when it gets resolved. Cha. Evam hi pranavam jnatva. Knowing the Omkara in this manner, the creator, after creating everything, it sustains everything. After a period of time or in course of time, every living being get eliminated in course of time. Jnatva, knowing all these verses in a proper way by studying under a traditional teacher, if a person comes to know, after knowing Vishnude, Vishdhatu enters, there is no entering. A person who is already liberated from the world mistakes oneself that I am a limited being. I have a lot of limitations. I have a lot of bondages. I have a lot of responsibilities. I am a human body. All these confusions get eliminated, get removed by the right knowledge from the scriptures and by the help of traditional teacher. By the help of a traditional teacher. So, one thing we should know, without having the support of the scriptures or the traditional teacher, a person oneself cannot correct the mistakes about oneself. Superimposed ideas. Something very important, It will happen once in my life if we think we never get corrected our mistake. That I am not a person who is subject to death and birth. This knowledge will not come or enter inside our brain without without the help of a traditional teacher. That is why Upanishadic teachings are to be studied under a proper person. Then only we will come to know in the systematic way, every step by step, according to the listener, the teacher will provide some examples. The teacher will give some techniques to focus on the reality. All these things can happen only when you go to a traditional teacher and study properly, surrendering towards them. Vishnude, then only we will correct our mistake that I have concluded myself, I am a human being. I am a human being. And I am having a limited body. I go through pain and sufferings. All these things are boiling till you reach under the feet of a traditional guru. Then he or she will take care of all the issues you kept under his or her feet. Thus, the traditional teacher starts the traditional teachings slowly according to the mindset of the person who surrendered to him. It may take few years, it may take few days, it may take few months, it may take several years for understanding the reality according to the preparedness of the person, readiness of the person. Thus, a person will get rid of the ignorance about oneself. He or she was thinking oneself due to the ignorance, due to the not knowing about oneself, that I am a limited body who born in a particular place, who having some parentage, who having some brotherhood, who having some lot of issues, everything. This mistake that I am a human body will attract a lot of other mistakes also. All these things get eliminated, get vanished by the waking of the real knowledge from the traditional teacher. Then he will come to know I was thinking myself wrong about one's own identity. I was thinking myself I am having a human body with a lot of limitations. Thus, a person enters into the world of eternity. At once the time of the knowledge, immediately the person get enlightened. Enlightened means moksha, mukti, freedom from bondages. Superimposed features doesn't take any effect. Don't take any effect in the real entity. My real identification is the consciousness, and the superimposed body have a lot of limitations, features. It will not have any effect on the consciousness. It will not have any consciousness. It will not take effect on the real entity. For example, we superimpose a snake on the rope and we say big snake. That bigness will not be there in the rope. It's a poisonous snake. Rope doesn't have any poison. We already know. It has a hood. Rope doesn't have a hood. It is making some sound. Rope will not make some sound. But our superimposed mentality, one after another, the thoughts will become many due to one superimposition. These features will not be there in the real thing. This is what we told here. Evam nyatva vishnude tadanantaram. After getting the knowledge, the ignorance immediately vanishes. Awakening of the knowledge is the knowledge about one's own eternal liberation, nitya muktaha. It is not that Guru and the scriptures made me to be free from all bondages. We have to correct like this. The scriptures and Guru made me to discover, made me to recognize about what? Already existing liberation about oneself. They only help to recognize, they only help to discover one's own identity, which is free from all kinds of limitations like body, etc. That's it. Vishnude tadanantaram. So, tadanantaram means after getting the knowledge. Vishnude, liberated after getting the knowledge. That should be understood properly. Already existing liberation is understood properly by the help of traditional teacher and by the help of scriptures. I will read the Bhashya, which is very small. Adi Madhya Anta, Adi Madhya Antaha is equal to Utpatti Sthiti Pralayaha. The beginning, the sustenance, the end is should be understood of the creation. Origination of the creation, survival of the creation, and the destruction of the creation. Sarvasya eva, it should be extended for all living beings in the different timings. A rat which is born will survive for 12 years from here right now. A cat which already born before 12 years is going to be an end within few years. So everybody's origination, existence, and the destruction happens just like a movie on the white screen. White screen will not get affected. This origination, sustenance, and destruction is just like a cinema movie in the white screen. White screen is Parabrahman, the base of entire things. Sarvasya eva. And here Adi Shankara explains Maya, Hasti, Rejju, Sarpa, Mrigatrishnika, Supnath, Supnadau, Utpadyamanasya, Vyadadi Prapanchasya, Yata Mayavi Adaya. Maya Hasti. Maya, illusion. An elephant being created by the magician from the atmosphere. This is called an illusion, elephant illusion. Magician will create different things from the atmosphere. Different things from the atmosphere. He may create from his hat an egg, a ribbon, a flower, lot of things, some toffees. In real, that hat doesn't have any capacity. It's all the things which he has hidden before he comes to the show. Similarly, how the magician used to perform his magic by showing different things, that should be understood through elephant which came out of illusion. Rajju, Sarpa, the stock example, a snake which is appearing on the rope. Mrigatrishnika, mirage water, which is not at all existing at any point of time. In the desert, we see due to the glazing of the sun, some water is there very far. This is called mirage water. By looking towards that, they say animal used to run to drink some water. When you go there, again it will be appearing far. This is called Mrigatrishnika. These are all just due to the illusion. Similarly, the creation seems to be existing due to the illusion. My connection with the world and people are due to the illusion. Maya Swapnadau Utpadyamanasya. Everything comes in the dream also, it's only an illusion. It doesn't exist at any point of time. Even if you perceive this, it doesn't exist at any point of time. And Vyadadi Prapanchasya. Vyat, space. All the elements are the first thing to get originated from the entity. The five elements becomes a compound to create different things in the creation. And we can see that everything, if we analyze properly, can be divided into five elements. So, Vyadadi Prapanchasya, Mayavi. The creator is equated through into a magician who created this external world or creation. Out of him, the five elements came. It seems to be real, but it is an illusion. Evam he, in this manner, like this, Pranavam is equal to Atmanam. Oneself is called as Pranavam. Atman, my intrinsic nature. Evam he, in this manner from me. Mayavi Adisya. Mayavi, a magician. I am the magician. Mayavi Adisthaniya Jnatva. I am being the locus of all this magic, the creation. Mayavi Adisthaniya. I should see myself as the base of the entire creation, like the white screen in the theater. That white screen will not change in spite of all the actions happened, all the movies. So this is called Maya Adisya. Staniyaha Jnatva, having known that Jnatva is something very important, Ignorance can only removed through the right knowledge. Right knowledge is the only solution for the removal of the ignorance. Right knowledge. The raw knowledge is the removal, is the essential part for the removal of the snake illusion. Similarly, the entire dualistic world can only be removed by the awakening knowledge of myself, Atma Jnana. Self-knowledge is the only solution to remove all kinds of illusions accordingly. Jnatva tat kshanadeva tad atma bhavam vishnude ityartha. When I consider myself, I am this body, that illusional knowledge, illusory knowledge should go after receiving the real knowledge about oneself. They appear as though real. My body, if I touch, I know that there is a body with me. But really speaking, the appearance itself is an illusion, like the verb appearing in the ocean. There is only content remaining in the waves. The content is only water. Water is the only content of all the names and forms in the watery world. Whether it is a surf, it is nothing but water. Whether it is a steam, it is nothing but water. Everything is nothing but water. Water is the cause of all the things. Water will be the content of a dewdrop, steam, ice cube, anything. Without water, there is no imagination of an ice cube. Without the content of self, there is no imagination of creation. Creation means it is only a superimposed name and form on the real entity. Thus, a person should understand oneself. Any illusion which caused trouble and sufferings in my life can remove by the self-knowledge. That is why Jnatva, knowledge can only understand, can know. Knowledge cannot be in any other way. Jnatva, after knowing. Knowing that, Jnatva, takshanadeva, at once, immediately, the dispel of darkness will immediately happens when you switch on the light. Both are together. Dispel of darkness. The removal of darkness will not stay for 1 hour after switching on the light. Immediately, the real knowledge will take away the wrong knowledge. Wrong knowledge will only survive as long as the ignorant exists about oneself. I am this body, that notion will only exist till the right knowledge appears in one's life. I am not this body. I am the consciousness which is in and through this creation. That consciousness is not subject to death and birth. Tat Atma Bhavam Vishnude. Thus he understand with his mind, I am the self. I am the Brahman. I am the Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma, the eternal self. Thus he get liberated while living. Liberation is nothing owing the self-knowledge in oneself. After getting the knowledge from the traditional teacher about oneself, he lives according to the knowledge what he receives. This is called self-knowledge. Okay? Self-knowledge is the only remedy for the liberation. All other journey to heaven, to other lokas, there are other places. You don't need any self-knowledge. You only need a body notion. I want to enjoy with my body. That's enough to go here and there. So there is no need of any self. But to get eternal liberation from this world and sufferings and pain, one should know about oneself. It's a big process coming to an under a traditional teacher and surrendering to him and listening for a length of time and taking care of one's own core issues by the guidance of the traditional teacher. Lot of things are there, but everything will be in a manner, systematic, in a meticulous way. Everything will fall under place. So liberation means nothing but the awakening of the knowledge about oneself will dispel, will remove the darkness or the ignorance about oneself. That is being done by the word Pranavam or Omkaram, which is the name for the Brahman. That is being told here in the 27th verse. Now the 28th. Pranavam hi Ishwaram Vidyat Sarvasya Hritaye Stitam Sarvavyapinamomkaram Matva Dhiro na Shochati. Pranavam hi Ishwaram Vidyat. Pranavam, this Omkara, this syllable Om, indeed the Lord of entire creation. Creation means it includes me. Who is the Karma Pala Adhyaksha? Who is the witness of all the results which comes through the karma? Pranavam hi Ishwaram Vidyat. May one understand the Lord of all these creations as this Omkara, the Brahman, Vidyat. Sarvasya Hridaye Sthitam. This Lord is not existing or sitting in heaven. Lord is not sitting in heaven. Many religions promote this wrong idea. Lord is somewhere sitting in heaven or in some other places. We should reach there by doing certain activities. Here it is told here, Sarvasya Hridaye Stidam. It resides, this Lord resides in everybody's heart. How can we hurt another animal or another bird for my sake, for my happiness, when after reading this sentence? The same sentence is echoed in Bhagavad Gita 18th chapter. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hriddeshe Arjuna tishtati. Lord is residing in everybody's heart, oh my beloved Arjuna. It is not that giving a location. Many people then again confused of this sentence. Something which is all pervading don't need any location. But for the sake of meditation, we impose a location. That's all. It is not logically fit that something which is all pervading in the entire universe. How can one say that it is residing in one's own heart? How can it be? It is not possible. But for the spiritual seekers, those who are beginners, those who are just entering to the spiritual pursuit, for them, there is a need of meditate, in which they meditate, to whom I meditate, and where I should meditate. For all these sake, a location is given. Hriddeshe Arjuna Tishtadi is being told here, Sarvasya Hridaye Sthitam. It resides in everybody's heart. Sarva Vyapinam Omkaram Matva. This Sarva Vyapinam, see the next sentence, Sarva Vyapinam. This all-pervading Omkaram. So it's an irony, correct? The first sentence, Hridaye Sthitam, a location is given. After that, a word which denies the location, all-pervading. Wherever I go, it is there. Whatever I think, it is there. Each and every cells, it is filled with in my body. Then how can I say it resides in my heart? So it's only a sake of for the spiritual seekers. Remember properly this. Any location is only for the sake of spiritual elevation. Even going to temple, going to church, going to mosque, This location is only for the sake of spiritual elevation. One can do one's own spiritual disciplines if you are comfortable in your own room, in your house, or some other places near to you. When you go to temple and most conducive situation is built up, so that you can easily meditate, you can easily think about the Lord and stay back. But in the house, there are few issues for some obstacles are there. That's been told here. Dhiro na shochati. Sarvavyapinam omkaram. After knowing this idea, the reality, everywhere Ishvara is residing, the Lord is residing. Matva. Ishvara in the form of diseases, Ishvara in the form of good situations, Ishvara in the form of everything. Dhiro na shochati. Dhiraha na shochati. The discriminated one who is having the discrimination is called Dhira, who can understand what is right, what is wrong, what is superimposed, in which superimposition happened. Everything is possible for a discriminated one. That person understands. Discrimination also impose dispassion, also attract dispassion. Because for a Viveki only Vairagyam can come. Viveki means a person who has knowledge about two different things. Discrimination. When you know that fire is something you cannot touch with your bare hands, water is something you can touch with your bare hands. This discrimination will help us not to fall into a tragedy. But as a baby, when I don't have any discrimination, I just go and hold on the heated plate or some other things. Even it happens for mature people when they don't realize. When they don't realize, these things happen, we get burnt. So discrimination is something which attract dispassion, vairagya. It will hurt me so that I have to be away from that. This logic is applied for certain things and it is called dispassion. Whether it is a relation, whether it is a inert thing like alcohol, cigarette, etc., whether it's one of my ambition, this ambition will hurt me. If I go along with these ambitions, so I should be away from that. Thus, a person realizes through the discrimination, dispassion get generated. And they are proportional. If the discrimination is more, the dispassion is also more. If the discrimination is less, dispassion will also go less. Thus, a person should understand discrimination and dispassion go together. So here, dhiraha, a person who can separate two things. What is being superimposed? What is the base of superimposition? By the help of traditional teacher for years. Na shojadi. Now there is no room for sorrows. He never grieves. He don't grieves. He is free from all kinds of pain and sorrows. Even though the pain comes towards the body, he will not get affected by this pain. This is what been told here. Pranavam hi Ishwaram Vidyad. May one know that this overlordship is only for the Brahman who is the creator. Sarvasya Hridaye Sthitam. For the sake of seers, a location is given. Sarvasya Hridaye Sthitam. It resides on everybody's heart. So there is no room for hurting somebody. Sarvavyapinam Omkaram Matva. This all-pervading Brahman is being pointed through the Om. Knowing this, thinking of this, the discriminative one will not have sorrows in one's life. Bhashya, two, three sentences. Sarvasya pranijatasya smriti pratyaya aspade hridaye sthitam ishvaram pranavam vidyad. Sarvasya pranijatasya. Pranijatam, all living beings. Of the all living beings, where it resides in the form of consciousness, it appears in each and every thought. Smriti pratyaya aspade. Smriti pratyaya, memory, thinking, everything. Everything, there is a backup of consciousness. The consciousness which is there in our smriti, the consciousness which is there in our memory, remembering, understanding, everything attracts consciousness. Hridaye sthitam Ishwaram. Thus, the consciousness and the heart, one who having consciousness due to the mind or heart, in that the Lord resides. Pranavam Vidyat. And again it is told, Sarvavyapinam Vyomavad Omkaram Atmanam Asamsarinam. Vyomavad, the space which is all pervasive, all pervading. Everywhere the space is there. Everywhere the space is there. The space will go in and through all living beings. That's why I have a space in my stomach. Akasham, Vyomavad, which is all pervading. Everywhere being the space, I have a house, I have a stomach, everything is there, settled in this all pervading space. Like the space, the Omkaram, Atmanam, knowing this all pervading entity who is having the name Om, and also it is the self, knowing that Dhiraha, the discriminative one, Buddhiman, one who is having the sattvic intellect, clean-cut intellect. Matva, knowing that Nashojati, he never grieves after knowing only. Without the knowledge, there is no removal of ignorance. When there is ignorance, there will be always some troubles in our life, grief, sorrow, etc., etc. After knowing, everything get removed. Nashojati. Shoka nimitta anupapattehe. The cause for the sorrow is ignorance and the wrong ideas and the illusion and the mistakes. The cause being eliminated, the product that worries and the grief will not come at all. Shoka nimitta anupapattehe. Being there is no possibilities for the cause of sorrow, the sorrow will not appear. Tarati shokam atmavit. Māṇḍūkya Upaniṣad says, a person who knows the self as it is from a traditional teacher will cross the ocean of samsara. Asamsari, it is told here, which will not belong to this creative world. It's not an object in creation. It will not get any type of bondages. Asamsari, free from all kinds of bondages. So one who knows the Atman, he will cross the Shogam Atmavid. It is also told in the another Shruti. Very interesting way of ending the first session. More one sloka is there, which I will read in the next class. Just I will read for you once. The meaning we will see in the next class. This will be the last verse of the first section in the Kārikas. So the Agama Prakaranam is going to end in the next class. This is the last verse. Amatro Anantamatrascha Dvaitasya Upashama Shivaha Omkaro Vidito Yena Samunir Netaro Janaha. This is the verse which we have to see the meaning in the next class. Om Swastik Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahisha Gobrahmanebhya Shupamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshadu Parjanyaha Prithvi Sasya Sharini Deshoyam Choparahitaha Brahmano Santu Nirbhayaha Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhavet Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Purnamatav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Namaste Neeraji, Leelaji,
Thank
Mariam.
you. Namaste.